Everyone involved in a food business should be aware of the law as laid down in the Food Safety General Hygiene Regulations 1995 and the Food Safety Temperature Control Regulations 1995. Under the General Hygiene Regulations, businesses must ensure that food handlers are instructed and supervised or trained and supervised in good hygiene matters to a level appropriate to the work they do. This means that whilst some staff may only need on-the-job instruction and supervision, others, such as handlers of high-risk foods, may need to receive formal training on a recognised certificate course. Also under the general regulations, food businesses must carry out what is known as a food hazard analysis. This is a method of identifying where and how food may be at risk of contamination and taking steps to prevent problems occurring. To carry out a hazard analysis, each stage in each food operation, from the purchase of raw materials through to product dispatch, sale or consumption, should be looked at to see whether food safety could be at risk from physical, chemical, bacterial or other contamination. For example, on a food production line, there is the risk of a part falling into the product, physical contamination. In this small kitchen, with limited working space, there's a risk of bacterial cross-contamination. Having identified potential hazards, the risks must be considered. The risk is the likelihood of a problem occurring. If the risk is significant, then control measures to make the situation safer must be introduced at the points where they will be most effective. These are known as the critical control points. In this example, a metal detector has been installed to reduce the risk of physical contamination. And here, the manager has introduced special routines for cleaning and disinfecting between operations. Having put control measures in place, they must be checked to see that they are working properly. And when new procedures or foods are introduced, hazard analyses should be reviewed. Environmental health officers are responsible for inspecting food premises and enforcing food laws. They and other authorised officials can inspect food premises without notice at any reasonable time. If there is an imminent risk to public health, a business can be closed and only allowed to reopen when the risk is removed. And if businesses fail to comply with food hygiene regulations, they are liable to face prosecution if the offence is serious or they have a past history of non-compliance. But the role of environmental health officers is also to encourage and assist businesses to develop good hygiene practices.